Hi guys, I'd like to officially welcome you to our 2025 watercolor garden party. I am so excited to be back with this. If you're new here, you might be wondering what a watercolor garden party is. So it's basically a series of videos that will run through spring and summer where we'll talk about watercolor florals, we will observe flowers and look at their structures, how to paint them, and just do a lot of fun things with that. You can see here my little pile. Those are the kind of plein air things. We'll talk about those in the next video, but I have been working on those. And then generally there has been just a beautiful kind of array of flowers. So I got quite a lot of footage that we can pull from through the coming videos. And this was actually in the first 2 weeks of April. So it's now kind of nearly the middle of May. But you can see here the magnolia trees were in bloom. The tulips that we planted last year bloomed and with great success. They're really lovely. I'll show you though, we were worried about them for a while. But yeah, you can see like at this stage for these few weeks, the garden was really, really beautiful. And yeah. So this video has really been brought to you by Millie's Walks. This was a really busy time for me. I've been trying to get these orders finished, and so yeah, I didn't have a lot of time for art, but thankfully because we were walking, we did get to see a lot of the beautiful gardens. So I did try to bring you along with that, and I'll show you kind of through here a few things that I did. So this was a very quick pastel rendering, and I did a couple of these. So I will link the playlist from last year, but I did a couple of these last year, which I'll show you in a minute. And so I wanted to kind of start this year with those as well. And yeah, I really enjoy this handbook sketchbook. I think that's what it's called, Handbook Co. sketchbook with pastel in it. It's just really nice to get down a quick color study. So that's what I've done here. And you can see here, like, so these are kind of two different trees, but on different days, kind of what it's feeling like. The lighting kind of changes the tree a little bit. So this one here is from last year, and you can see again like the colors are a little bit brighter, and then in this one the colors are a little bit softer. This is from last year as well. So yeah, it is interesting. Like, we had a lot more rain. It was actually quite a little bit more gloomy. I was surprised that I got the nice footage, because a lot of the days were more rainy and kind of darker. So this was like the same tree, and then this one, these two here were the same tree as well. So I'm just kind of showing you you know, color comparisons. And if you kind of look at a subject 1 year or 1 day or 1 week, and then you can go back and kind of sketch it again and it will kind of feel different. You'll notice different things. The colors might be slightly different. This was another day, and I will talk a little bit more about this in a minute. This was really interesting, and we will do a whole video on this technique. So as I could, I was kind of snatching moments here and there and trying to get down just a few kind of different things so that hopefully like through the coming months we can kind of work on these and elaborate on them a little bit more. We will go through in a video kind of how I make a colour study like that, and just in a very short amount of time as well. So this was a day you can see like it's quite overcast. It was very cold, very, very windy. And we just kind of went out kind of set out everything outside, and on this day I decided to try this technique. So I've got this piece of clay board that I've sort of cut into an A5 shape, and I tried a few different things on this, but I thought I wonder if this works. So I used oil pastels, and I've grabbed one of these pieces of the cotton plein kind of paper that I've been using, and I put the clay board down, then I flipped the whole thing over so that I could rub on the back of the piece of paper. And yeah, I made a print, so I was really actually very, very happy with this and quite excited about it. So again, like we'll talk about this more in an upcoming video. Our daffodils started to bloom on this day as well, which was really exciting. You can see here, like I only had a few moments, so I'm just using a pastel pencil. I'm really just trying to get in the shape of the tree. You can see here, this is a chic sparrow cover with some of this paper in that I've been using for these kind of quick 5-minute studies. And so you can see here, this is the clay board, and this is kind of what's left on it after I made the print. So I've just kind of taken this inside to show you, like I did the drawing backwards. So, and again, I'll show you kind of in more detail, like how I'm thinking about that, but I am just loving the texture on that and kind of the beautiful, I feel like prints just have such a beautiful quality about them. So yeah, I can just easily wipe the oil pastel off this clay board and yeah, start again. But I really love the way that it looks when you're kind of wiping it off. It goes into that kind of eye cap design, which I really love. So yep, I think I'm just showing you here. I did not get much, you can see here, did not get much done on this tree here, but I just really think it's important to kind of, even if you have a few minutes, kind of looking at the structure of something. The branches on this tree are quite complicated, so it was nice to just kind of have a few minutes to think about that a little bit. You can see here our poor little garden. So for several weeks the wind was just atrocious, and we actually didn't know if they would make it. By the time we sort of thought about getting some kind of windbreaks or something, it was a lot calmer. But yeah, you can see here like the magnolia tree as it was starting to come out. So yeah, again, like I feel like last year there were some really beautiful days and the lighting was really nice. Huckberry. The lighting was, so the videos were quite nice, and I just wasn't sure if I would get any kind of footage like that this year, but I'm happy to say there were some really nice days. But so this is a chic sparrow that I have set up with some Paper Republic inserts in it. I really, really have been loving the drawing book, especially from Paper Republic. So these are A5, and you can see here, it's just a blank one. That's just kind of, I think, a blank notes one. And then this is the drawing book. It's got this really pale pink cover, which is beautiful. And so I set this one up, I think maybe in February. But I finally got around to just swatching out these Graphwood pencils one night and kind of just picking 5 of them that I thought would go in, you know, a nice gradation, that like as I was swatching them, kind of which ones did I like using. So you can see here, like this was kind of how I finished off, and I think I pared it down even a little bit more than that. But yeah, I just kind of, so like for example, this was all I did with related to art for one day. And then I think for a whole week, we were getting, before the tulips came out or anything, we had some like little things sort of growing in the garden. And so I wanted to, you can see here, like, so every night I would just take 10 minutes and kind of look at maybe one little part of this little wildflower. So, you know, I would just do kind of one section of the leaves or one section of the leaves. And I just tried to really simplify it down. So when you get something like that, it can look quite complicated. Yeah, so I just really wanted to kind of simplify that down and just spend a few minutes every night. And then you can see here, then I did this ivy leaf. So yeah, this was actually quite tricky because there's like a lot of, when you're looking up close, there's quite a lot of veins. And when you look further away like this, it just like there's the dark spots are quite bigger. So that was actually quite a challenge. And I guess that's the interesting thing when artists say just do the work, because in doing that you kind of figure out the push and pull. How much do I want to portray here? Is this necessary? You know, where should I stop, and things like that. So again, like these are daffodils. So I think one morning I brought some in and was just again like trying to do maybe 20 minutes of painting in the morning, and then like I'd do 10 minutes of drawing at night for this week. Yeah, so we will do a whole video just on daffodils, and then we'll do a whole video on tulips, a whole video on magnolias. And excitingly, the irises have just come out as well. You can see like our little garden still going. The wind was still going. Yeah, so the irises have just started coming out, so we'll do a video on those as well. So again, like this was the first morning I started kind of thinking about the daffodils, and I just sketched them out. So again, like breaking it down into simpler pieces, and if you only have a small amount of time, don't try and get the whole thing done. Just kind of start with a smaller bit, then the next day I kind of put the first layers on, the first washes, and kind of a little bit of detail. So again, like we'll talk through that, like putting in colour, lifting out a little bit of colour, dropping in a bit more colour. Just on the first wash, how much can we get done? So, and you can see here like the petals were sparkling iridescent in the light. So again, that is something that always surprises me and I love about flower petals. So here is kind of where I left it after a week. I went back in to this and I kind of added a little bit more. So I took away sort of some of the veins that were kind of too highlighted, too bright. And then this was a day I wanted to do a sketch of the back of a tulip, and then these two I went out actually into the garden and kind of just sketched the outlines of the tulips there. So you'll see a little bit more of that footage in the next video. Yep, I think this is kind of where I left it with, oh, you can see here, so I did another sketch of a tulip while it was in front of me, but I did not get to paint that. So again, this is something we'll look at in the tulip video, kind of how to break down some of these really complicated shapes. And yep, so this is kind of where I left it. Another day I think I went back in, added some detail and kind of some more layers onto these flowers. You'll also see some, again, unfinished sketches on this page, but I think I might actually change some of those. When I was going through the footage, there's some different kind of ones that maybe capture it a little bit better that I might change it to. This here is some of this paper that I've been using, the kind of smaller ones. I got like this larger kind of folio. I really love this paper and I used this. You'll see this in a little while. There's really not a lot here actually on the page yet, so we'll paint this in the kind of part 2 of this, but yeah, we'll talk about that a bit more. But this here is just a page where I had the flowers on my desk and I sort of did a contour drawing but with paints. So I was really kind of looking more at the shape and not overthinking it, but kind of just really looking at with kind of with my brush. So doing kind of like a contour drawing warm up, but just kind of painting it out with different colors and things. So I kind of reserved different portions of my sketchbook, so you could see they're like in this sort of few pages of my sketchbook I do things more like that. So yeah, I think another day I just went in and kind of added that really soft blue to that tree, and then the other one there that we also kind of did outside. But I might actually show you a little bit more of that here in a minute. So Rosie sometimes comes out if Millie's a bit too boisterous. She does not like when you're doing anything when she's outside. So yeah, we switch pets up and bring the other one. But you can see here again how windy it was. But this day, so this was one day and then the bright pink one was another day. It was quite a brighter day. You can see like the blue in the sky was very intense, and so just a couple of times like going out and kind of trying to look at that and think my way through it. You can see here I did a quick watercolor again of the tree. Again, especially with things that are quite difficult, it's nice to kind of just, without kind of doing a very long painting and then being dissatisfied at the end of it, just kind of dipping in and seeing what a few minutes can do is actually really helpful. So these are the Lascaux gouache, and I have been enjoying this. This is kind of a different medium for me and a different way to think about painting. So you can see I just put them in this palette. I put water on them. They're actually on watercolor cotton paper, And then I use this Chamonix art brush. These are really beautiful brushes, the colorings in the wood. But yeah, so let's see, I was trying a different technique here. So I was actually watching about Cressida Campbell, her process, her printing process. It's really beautiful. I'm going to link a few videos that have been inspiring me this last month, but she paints with watercolor just out of the tube on these wood panels, and then she makes a print. So she just makes one print and she has the original, and she displays them together. So it's really beautiful way to think about it. So I was just wondering if I could do it with the gouache here on the clay board, but what I realized from doing this is that I wet the clay board, which I didn't need to. I could have just wet the paper, or maybe I could have just did what I did with the oil paints and just sort of go straight into the print. So it's interesting, like doing these kinds of little experiments with your supplies and kind of seeing where that takes you and what you can kind of do here. So I had the print and then I just started touching it up here. I probably could have left it at this stage, but I think, yeah, I definitely think I could have left it there, but yeah, this is not... anyway, so yeah, it was interesting to do something like that. And let's see, I was listening to a talk about Degas. He was going on a train somewhere. It might have been like the first train in the area, or I can't remember, but he was going on a train somewhere and he was really impressed with the kind of fleeting landscapes as they were kind of, going on this train. And so he was trying to remember parts that he enjoyed, and then when he got where he was going, he painted with etching ink onto copper. He made a monotype print, and then he would sometimes go over that with pastels. Sometimes he would go back to the image and print a ghost image, so a second image that's kind of fainter, or he'd touch up the image and then reprint it with maybe some different colours. But yeah, I thought that was also that's something I was thinking about and I thought was really interesting. So you can feel free as well to pause the video and paint any of these flowers. I hope this is a nice introduction to the flowers. I think it's nice to kind of get the kind of visual idea of something kind of before you even painted. So I've realized that that's really actually helped me a lot. Even just walking Millie, she'll be kind of rolling around and I'm just like looking at branches or the way the leaves fall, the way the light is hitting something. And yeah, I sometimes like I think about if I was painting now, like what color would I be reaching for, just to kind of have that note about like when I go back and want to paint it, you know, because you do feel it kind of differently when you're there. Yeah, just what would you be gravitating towards? So, and the other thing that I get questions about is, do I prefer painting kind of in real life or do I prefer painting from a photo? And it has taken me a long time to paint from life. I really always preferred a photo. I preferred the fact that it was kind of flattened into a 2D thing already, so I could kind of see where everything was. Yeah, I really had to kind of, last year I really tried more to just do these kind of 5-minute studies and really look at where I could put things, how I could change the composition a little bit, how I could just incorporate colors and things like that. So I think it's really nice if you have the opportunity to paint on plein air or, you know, paint like from a flower. So but also, you know, we don't always have that kind of ability, so a photo is such a wonderful reference as well. Like you'll see here in a minute, so these days the skies were just going really beautiful, the kind of soft colors, but you can see here, like, so this was a day I was really tired, but I knew that the tree may not even last another day or two. So I just went out for maybe 15-20 minutes and just kind of sat on this bench. This is not great watercolor paper. I was using the Lascaux gouache, but you can see here I watered it down a lot. And basically what I'm trying to do here is a quick color study. So what are the background colors I can see? Like where does the sky sort of stop and this background greenery? And I painted the branches and then I just kind of painted the foliage in. Now, you know, I would need a lot more time to kind of render that how I wanted to, but this is kind of the nice thing about just doing these small studies, is that you kind of don't get overly attached to it and you can kind of walk away and be like, okay, that's it, I need to work on this. I liked figuring this out. Yeah, like this was one I just did with pastels. And I'd actually wanted to do more of a demonstration of this in this video, but it's just gotten so long. So we'll do some of those in some upcoming videos. Yep, you can kind of see like what I'm taking out here. So this pastel box, a couple of sketchbooks, a cup of water. I have been thinking about Monet painting in his studio boat. So he would go in like in the mornings, very early mornings, and sit in the Seine in his boat, and kind of that is the feeling that comes through, you know, his paintings. I mean, it's such a beautiful kind of serene moment, and yeah, so kind of I hopefully the footage here gives you a little sense of that. And I think it would be quite interesting to paint some of these things. So pause the video, paint things, and then as we go through the year and we kind of do a video and kind of learn a little bit more technically about these subjects, when you kind of combine that technical knowledge with how you wanted to interpret the flower in the first place, that's when you start to find kind of your style, how you like to work. So yeah, I think hopefully this is a nice introduction. I will be back. I'll let you just kind of enjoy this magnolia tree, and then we will talk about the orders. Actually, just let me say that this magnolia tree has several little holes and kind of cubbies in the trunks, and you can peer in there and see the squirrels have been sitting in there having a little parties, and kind of all the broken nut shells are in there. So yeah. The blossom trees was really so fleeting. This was, I think, the second to last day. I got a little bit of footage on the next day that you'll see in the next video. But yeah, they just disappeared so quickly. It would have been really nice to kind of sit under them and do some more painting with you, but maybe one day. So the other thing I wanted to finish on, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for the shop update. I'm so glad that you guys still love the products, and you can see here I'm a little bit late shipping everything out, but I am I made almost double what I normally make, and then I wanted to give everyone 3 or 4 freebies, which what I didn't kind of calculate was it would be a few hundred kind of extra freebies. I'm really glad I did it. You can see like here would be the order, and then this is the order with the freebies. So I'm really glad. I hope you guys will really love them. I did a few different things. So I've packed everything up, but I still need to ship it out, and kind of put it in the shipping thing and put the labels on. So thank you for your patience, and everything should be shipping out on Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, I had a couple of, I needed to wait for a couple of things to finish off some of these full pans and half pans. So while I was doing that, I was busily getting all the freebies ready. You can see here, I love when they're all finished and they're all sitting there. I would love to have these in a shop, and you could like come in and pick your own sets. But yeah, so what I did is I made some kind of confetti party freebies. So they're not necessarily the same color the whole way through the half or full pan. And I used the little extra bits of kind of runoff. So often like when I'm filling the pans, there'll be a little bit of runoff that kind of dries to the side. And so I crumpled all that up and sort of made watercolor confetti. Here you can see the situation. So from on the tops here, and yeah, they're just really quite nice. So as you use them, there'll be like different colors within the half pan or full pan. And yeah, I just thought it was kind of a nice way to add a little bit of something to the order. I do thank you for your patience. It does take an exorbitant amount of time just to place the pearls, create the pearls. Sometimes they don't always work out. Just make sure that everything is looking well and really nicely finished. It even takes me quite a long time just to put all the orders into their correct spots and make sure that that's all correct, so you're not getting the wrong things, and try and make sure that shipping goes well. Writing the name cards. I love writing the name cards for you, and maybe you can keep them in your sketchbook or something. And yeah, just kind of making sure everyone had a really nice selection and that the freebies kind of matched. I went through this morning and just kind of opened all the boxes to check everything and see if they were okay, how they were packed and everything. And it was such a treat just opening each box. It was like a little dream. So yeah, I really hope, we've had Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, spring. I just wanted these to feel like a little party in and of themselves. So I really hope you like them. There are a couple of extra sets in the shop, and then I won't be making these again till next year. So I need a couple of weeks to just do some spring cleaning. I have to trim Rosie, our dog, and her summer haircut, and do some weeding in the garden and things. So after that, maybe in 3 weeks, I'll start doing the souffle palettes. So I know there's a few of you who are waiting for those. So if you can message me on Etsy and just remind me which variety that you wanted, so that I have all that, because I know that they're there somewhere, but I might have missed one of the messages. I get quite a few messages on Etsy. Yeah, and then that will probably be it for the year. I might do I've been really thinking about a few kind of pinks, different kind of ones, or like a different little set, more like some of the colours in this colour wheel. So I might do just a small variety of those and the souffle palettes, and that I might not do any maybe until Christmas or next year, so we'll see. But I hope you guys love everything, and I will see you in the next video. It's going to either be part 2 of this kind of garden walkthrough, or we might start painting the flowers. So I'll see what I have time to kind of do. But anyway, it's going to be exciting, hopefully, and I can't wait to continue the garden party with you. Okay, have a great week. Bye.